Good morning, everyone. Thanks for hanging with JohnnyF. Today is September 9th, 2023. Just going on our morning walk today. This is going to be hopefully the first in a series of walks and maybe some ATV rides and stuff. Just something to watch and relax to, chat about things. It is 44 degrees this morning. I've noticed the top of a few trees and stuff are turning a little yellow. It's fall is definitely coming. We're still getting into the 90s during the day, but as you can see, it's a busy day on the highway here. Oh, I hear a car coming the other way as soon as I speak it. So yeah, this is my normal walk every morning. It's about a 2 mile trek. We're gonna see how this goes. I've tried this once before, and with my GoPro type camera, and the video was just too shaky. Not sure how to get past that, but we're gonna try this on the old iPhone. Be good for my arm strength holding this thing up for 40 minutes. This is a private road here, but branches off onto BLM land. Oh, and there I am. My shadow. So they allow people to use this to get back to the BLM land, and I really do enjoy this walk. If you follow my Instagram channel, and I'll put a link in the notes for this video, I mostly just put pictures from my hike. You know, you can see when you look around, it's a beautiful area. This big area here, this thing is called the Palisade. Excuse me. Some fall allergy is kicking in today, just a little, just enough to irritate. So but yeah, my Instagram channel is where I post 4 or 5 pictures a week from my hikes. When I catch a good sunrise or something. You know, it's about 7:40, I think, right now, and usually I get out, well, it's a Saturday, so I didn't have to get up real early, but usually I'm out here no later than 7, and the sun hasn't come over the mountain yet, so yeah, if you can't get outside and get the little exercise, then I guess this video is kind of for that. You can get on your treadmill or elliptical or stationary bike or something, and maybe play this video and ride along. If you don't want to hear the ramblings, and you can mute it, put some music on, some headphones or something, and just You know, just kind of act like you're walking here instead of in a room or somewhere where just because you can't get out, you know. I'm realizing at this point that if I'm going to hold this and it's 44 degrees, I might have wanted to bring some gloves. We've been in it 5.5 minutes and my hand is freezing. We'll have to switch up hands. I'm not sure how pleasant that's going to be to watch, but it is what it is. We'll figure out something better. Maybe one day I'll be able to buy some contraption that stabilizes these videos without me having to hold it all the time, but that's another day, another dollar. I gotta pay a little attention here. It's a good spot to break an ankle or something if you're not. This is known locally as bull draw. You can see it's there's no water in it right now. There's usually no water in it. It's usually spring runoff, and we had so much snow this last year that this thing was bank to bank, so it was 25 feet wide and probably 4 feet deep. It was a rushing river. That boulder right there, which is 3.5 feet tall, 4.5 feet wide, that boulder used to be up there on the other side of those boulders. It was quite the torrent. Let me maneuver through these rocks. You'll have to excuse the bumpiness before I break something that I'd like to keep. There we go. So yeah, we had good runoff in that. For over a month I couldn't cross that to get out here and hike, which was a bummer. This is my main hiking spot, the easiest one to get to, you know. Sometimes I come out here with my ATV and do some riding just to relax a little, since it's real close to the house and I don't have to trailer it or anything. And we'll probably do some of those. We'll see how that goes. I mean, you see stuff like that online all the time, and I'm just not sure how they keep that stabilized enough not to give people motion sickness, you know. The camera's got motion stabilization, my little GoPro style one, but I don't like it. The results aren't great. The camera takes great video and it's a nice camera, but it does this choppy weird thing when it's trying to stabilize. Yeah, sun's already up. Palisades looking good. I'm gonna have to brush up on my geology. I haven't used it in a while. I used to know a little bit about those layers up there, because this area is known for its exposed geology. You can go back millions of years in rock layers here, and colleges and stuff will come out here with a group to study and learn about this stuff. And you know, you find dinosaur tracks, and up toward Grand Junction a little farther, I think it's northwest of Grand Junction, there's actually a big dinosaur dig up there where they got a museum and stuff in there. You find fossilized bones and stuff up there. It's kind of cool. But yeah, I've been doing this walk, I'd say 2003. I've been doing this particular walk here every morning for almost 10 years. And besides it being for my health, it used to be, well, double purpose. Used to be for taking the dog. Let's do this hand switch here and just make everybody sick. That wasn't too bad. But yeah, I've had 2 Great Danes since I've been out here, and this was part of, they needed their exercise for sure. That's part of a good training of a dog. You gotta make sure they have their exercise, and they, dogs are I'm trying to think of the right word. They have their patterns. I'm not pulling the right word up here. They like to do the same things every day at the same time. So, our dogs knew that in the summertime, we'd try and go for a hike in the morning, this 2-mile hike, but it wasn't always possible with the job and stuff. So in the summer, we'd have to wait till after the sun went down because it was so hot out here. Our average temperature in the summer is probably mid-90s. So we got some low hundreds some days, and so on. But the dog would come out here and very well trained. I didn't need a leash or anything. And he would kind of, walk the path out in front of me, checking all the bushes and smelling for the bears and the mountain lions and bobcats, coyotes and stuff. So he'd kind of do his patrol, but he'd never get too far out, maybe 100 feet or so, and he'd just kind of fan out in front of me, and he'd check every now and then, look back, make sure I'm where he thinks I am. So, but they had their routines, which is the word I was looking for, and they loved it. This was their territory, they're pack animals. The pack goes and patrols its territory every day, and so we used to love to do that. And I think that kind of attests to the longevity of the dogs as well. They never really got overweight or anything. I made sure, even when the weather was terrible, it'd have to be a total downpour to stop us from coming out here. So we did over 350 hikes a year out here, and if it was 10 degrees out, it might only be a mile. I can bundle up more, but I would start to get cold, and of course the dog's going to get cold. The Great Danes are short hair breed. Sorry about that. So they did enjoy their walks. Great Danes have around a 10-year life expectancy, and our last Great Dane, he made it to 12 and a half. And if he hadn't started losing the feeling in his hind legs, he would have still been ready to go. He would, even toward the end there, when he couldn't walk more than 10 or 20 feet, he would still make his way on the grass outside the front door in the evening and sit and stare at the door because it was time to go patrol, even though he couldn't do it, which was sad. But so when he passed, I kept up the tradition, but I didn't keep it up near as well. It was like 3 days a week instead of 5, or well, usually I try and do 6 days a week. Usually the weekends are pretty busy, and if I know I'm gonna be working away on the weekend, you know, working hard in the yard, I might pass on the walk. But oops, I need to do a hydration check here. Get a drink. It's good stuff. I usually drink an Element in the morning for all my electrolytes and stuff. Since I changed my eating lifestyle to a carnivore lifestyle, so many things have changed. I used to have problems with muscle cramps in my legs all the time, and I still get them, but having lost some weight and drinking some Element has made a big change in that. And it's a pretty quick teller of my hydration level and my electrolytes level when you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning with a dual muscle cramp. Like last weekend, I was so focused on doing some work in the garage all weekend. It was a long holiday weekend, and by that second day I thought, wow, I'm really thirsty. I'm like pounding back the water, and I realized I hadn't drank very much for 2 days, and came back to bite me in the legs big time. Double muscle cramps. Left leg calf muscle, right leg hamstring, and boy, calf muscle lets up pretty easy, but that hamstring hangs on for 2, 3, 4 minutes. It's a lot of pain. So 2 nights in a row of that, and I was like, gosh, John, keep your head in the game, drink that water, get those electrolytes. But let's do another hand switch here so I can feel my fingers again. So we're getting close to our first mile marker. It is Saturday, and some weekends I go a longer walk, but I need to, got a lot of stuff to do this weekend. I'm trying to help support the carnivore diet movie. They're doing a fundraiser in another week. I think you can see that at carnivoredietmovie.com. And so I'm doing some tumblers and cutting boards for them for their event to raise money to get that movie / documentary together. So got a lot of stuff to get ready for that since it's next weekend. It's kind of interesting. We're going uphill, and the farther you get back, the more pine trees and stuff you'll find. You know, this is considered high plains desert here, so we have cactus. We have low ground cactus, not not the bigger ones. Here's a cactus here. You see the little purple bulb right there. That's prickly pear. If you've ever heard of prickly pear jam or prickly pear margaritas, that's what it is. Somebody's putting on some welding gloves to collect those puppies. But that's where that comes from. And then all these junipers, like on each side of the road here, those are, I believe you make gin from juniper berries. That's something I'm going to try. Okay,
Split 1.
there goes the watch.
23 minutes.
So we got our mile in. I'll go up here just a little bit, and I'm going to do a quick little reset of my gear. After losing weight, I can't keep my drawers up. I'm down, went to the doctor yesterday just to get a bunch of stuff checked, and it was down 28 pounds, and I need to get my thyroid stuff checked, you know, all these things, medication levels. But anyways, this might be hard to see if I'm walking toward the sun like that on the camera, but we'll make it work. So let me do a quick gear adjustment, and I'll be right back to you. All right. Let's get the tracker going again here. There we go. Luckily, I'm not walking into the sun a lot on this trek. Got all my gear situated. Water bottle was sliding around, and got my pistol back there, and I'm losing my drawers. Yeah, it's the around here. I mean, if we, I'll give you a show. I'll show you up here what we're doing, but the nearest, like, grocery store and hospital, all that stuff is about 60 miles from here. So you kind of got to take care of yourself as best you can. And, you know, we have bears and mountain lions in this area. The bears run as soon as they see you, always. Oops, goes the radio. It's an amateur radio, because a lot of areas around here, there's only one cell phone tower. And if you go in, you get in certain areas around here and you can't get a signal. And if you go in a car, if you jump in a car and go 10 minutes in either direction, you lose cell for about 45 minutes. So I have my amateur radio license, and they're way over the top of that peak there and out about 15 miles. There's a solar powered tower with an amateur radio repeater on it. And if I have an emergency, I can take that handheld I got and call into that tower and have somebody in Grand Junction relay to the sheriff's department, because we don't have police out here either. If you have an emergency and you call the sheriff's department, it's probably going to be at least 20 minutes, unless there's one already down in this area, but that's not as often. So you just kind of watch yourself. Anytime a bear won't run is if it has cubs around. And, you know, chances are you're not going to see a mountain lion until the last couple seconds. But, you know, that's out here. That's what you have when you know, when you're enjoying nature and the peace and quiet. Now let's do a sound check here. Take a listen. That's right. The occasional little chirp of a bird. But other than that, that is the sound of silence. And it is a wonderful thing. I can't enjoy this too much, you know? Another great reason to get out here besides the exercise and the fresh air. You know, the air is very, very nice and usually very clean. You know, it's a good day today. Every once in a while, you know, when there's a fire, we'll get hazy smoke. That's part of living in areas that can get fires like that. And this is one of them. That's our main natural disaster kind of thing, is the fires. You know, down here in the mountains, never been a tornado reported down here. We can get a flash flood, and that's usually, you know, very location specific, right? Roll a bunch of rocks off of the road or something and closes the road for a few hours. But fires is what we have to watch out for. When your temperatures are in the mid-90s all the time and your average humidity is like 14%, that can be a problem for fires. And it's also a problem for not drinking enough water. People get dehydrated real quick when they're not used to being out here, and then they get dizzy and they pass out, or they get really bad headaches, and it's almost always what it is. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I'm eating a carnivore lifestyle now, which has been an incredible blessing. I mean, it's hard to explain, and you know, most people like myself, I grew up in the 70s, and when they really started coming on with, you know, the food pyramid and balanced diets, and you know, the whole thing was, you know, oh, eat in moderation. If you're not losing weight, you're eating too much and you're not getting enough exercise. And, you know, it seemed like great advice at the time, even though it didn't work for a lot of people. Sure, it worked for some people. Everybody's got a different metabolism and whatnot, but it didn't work for me. I was fairly well fit around the time I got married. You know, I was doing 3 miles on my bike. Well, I'd do a 3-mile jog after work, then hop on my 10-speed and do that same 3 miles as fast as I could every day, eating lots of salads, you know, but hungry. I was hungry all the time, you know. And now that I've switched it up to a carnivore type of lifestyle, I got rid of all of the processed foods, got rid of most of the vegetables, get a little bit of dairy in there in the form of like cheese every now and then. But it's changed everything. You know what? Until somebody tries it for a couple of weeks, you can't explain it. It just changes everything. I mean, they call it the proper human diet because, you know, for thousands of years, humans ate meat, and then they would forage for a little bit of fruit or nuts when they could find them when they were in season, but it was mostly meat. And it turns out, when you go back to that, a lot of things just start clearing up. You know, I used to have acid reflux 3 or 4 times a week at night. You know, my shoulder would hurt and just ache, you know, and both of my knees would ache. And I'd take Motrin 4 or 5 nights a week, sometimes in the morning, because of all of the aches. And that about 2 weeks in, that just all disappeared. All of a sudden I realized I wasn't reaching for Tums. I wasn't reaching for Motrin. It just all went away. It was crazy. You know, I wear a CPAP. I mean, my weight topped out at 300 at one point. That was probably 8 years ago, and I managed to bring it down doing some keto stuff to about 265. And that didn't last. The keto didn't last long, and it works great for some people, but I don't have that discipline. You know, I'm like the potato chip commercial. You know, you can't eat just one, and that's how it was for me. If I got a box of Cheez-Its or a bag of Doritos or some white cheddar popcorn or something, it was half a bag before I was done, and none of that. It's all processed. It's got a lot of stuff in it you can't even pronounce. But once I cut all that stuff out, everything started changing. I looked at my CPAP, for breathing at night, and my episodes have dropped by 70%. I still got at least 80 more pounds to lose. But for that to have, dropped by 70%, I mean, I think if another 20 pounds in and I'll be done with the CPAP machine. And that's why I had my blood checked yesterday and blood pressure and all that, because I do take a blood pressure medication. A couple of years ago I had to go on that, and so it's going to get a little sunny here for a minute. But that's good for you. Get some vitamin D, get some fresh air. Gives a nice little,
Exercise ring closed.
see the little, ooh, that is a cool little effect with the sun there. I kind of like it. But we'll turn you over here so you don't have to look at that. But yeah, another 20 pounds. I'll probably be off blood pressure med. I will probably be done with the CPAP. So I'm down, like I said, I'm down 28 pounds. I'm down 2 sizes in my drawers, in my pants. So that's pretty awesome. It's nice to have to buy new clothes because you're losing weight instead of new clothes because you're gaining weight. And some people don't have that problem. And if you're in good health and you like your lifestyle, then that works for you. You have to do what works for you, right? Some people have just been mostly able to control their weight their whole life without too much issue. 10 pounds here or there, up or down. But it's never been that way for me. I was 5'9", 5'10", probably 5'9" when I got out of high school. I weighed at least 220 when I got out of high school. And that's I don't know what that is. That's what, 55 pounds or something over what they believe should be the proper weight on average. So it's always been a struggle for me, and diets never worked, and eating in moderation and making sure you have a balanced diet's never worked for me either. I've never been a big vegetable fan. I'm actually allergic to a couple of vegetables. So, it's changed my moods. Not as grumpy or quick-tempered or whatever else. I never, really was to a high degree, but I can definitely tell the difference. I know my family can. I know my wife can. And so it's another good reason to do these walks. I feel better after them, getting the air through my lungs, and so that'll be part of my walks, I'm sure. And if you don't care, or you don't think, people are always like, oh my gosh, you're gonna kill yourself if you're eating mostly meat. Everybody says that you need to eat lean meat and blah blah blah, and it's like, yeah, that's what they said. They also said the world was flat. They also said that eggs were terrible for you. Oh my gosh, you're gonna kill yourself. You can't eat those eggs, and stuff always comes up because somebody thinks they notice some correlation and stuff, and times change. I mean, everything changes. You learn new stuff, Scientists learn new things, they get new studies. The world changes, and I thank God that I stumbled into these videos on YouTube and some books. I've probably read 4 or 5 books from different doctors now, and been listening to podcasts by doctors and videos talking about all the different things. And I don't know, it's been out and out amazing for me. They're talking about eating. On a typical American diet, I had to eat every 4 hours or so. I'd get a little shaky, or I just would start feeling hungry. And on this carnivore lifestyle, that doesn't happen anymore. I ate a nice dinner last night of prime rib hamburgers, which, to be honest, were not as good as I would have thought they would be. They were way too dry, and I didn't think it was that amazing. But I ate probably a pound and a quarter of hamburger, prime rib hamburger, till I was full, satiated, as they like to say. Not stuffed, not Thanksgiving stuffed, with all that turkey and dressing and stuff, but full. And I, that was 7. It was done by 7, right? It's, here, let's do a little watch check here real quick. It is 8:14, 13 hours since I ate, and I'm not hungry. I used to be, if I got up, I had to eat within a half hour getting up, because my stomach would just start flipping and growling and making me feel sick if I didn't get something in my stomach. And I thought people were saying, you should fast for 12 hours. Oh, there's a bunny rabbit. Can anybody see the bunny rabbit? He's right there. He's gonna bolt in a second. I got some bunnies out here. There he goes. Wascally rabbit. But yeah, I don't know. I'll eat when I get hungry. And since I know I always eat a big dinner till I'm satiated, trying to use my new word. If I do get hungry in a couple hours, toward lunch, I'll just have a light snack of some kind. I'll have some bacon or a slice of cheddar cheese and a couple slices of smoked ham or something, and just something to hold me over till dinner time. There's lots to talk about on that, and we're not going to try and do it all on this walk, because we're coming back toward the house. And you're probably tired of hearing me rambling, but if you checked into this channel, you're gonna get some days I got stuff on my mind, and I'm thinking, I'm doing some mental philosophating there, and I may not talk that much, but it's the first one I'm going to talk today. And I hope people get something out of hanging out with me, hanging out with JohnnyF. My friends usually call me John or JohnnyF. Got one friend that just calls me F. But obviously that's why I call it Hanging with JohnnyF. We're going to be walking into the sun here, and I apologize for that. We're going to have to. I apologize for you, son. We'll deal with it. But getting back, and I'm going to have to get to working on this stuff for the carnivore diet movie. Need to get things ready. I got a week left, but if you hung out this long, I appreciate it very much. If nothing else, if you don't want to hear the talking, like I said, just put some music on or something and mute the video and just enjoy the walk. Enjoy the area of Colorado, being outside. Maybe someday get out this way. Get out to western Colorado. Take a drive on the scenic byway. Go out to Grand Junction. Look up the scenic byway. You will not regret that drive. I think it might take you all day. I haven't looked to see how long it really is, but It is beautiful. Look over here, see if we see any deer. Get a lot of deer in my yard. Got a couple of apple trees they like to come visit. Lately there's been a fawn and 2 does that have been hanging out. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I appreciate you hanging out this long. If you did, you know, hit that like button if you would. Just all that does is kind of flags it, and when other people are searching or whatever, it helps them find the video, and maybe they'll enjoy watching while they're on the treadmill or at the gym or something, you know. But I do appreciate it very much, and I gotta get back and get started, and we'll do another one maybe next week. Maybe if I break out the ATV this weekend for a quick little 20-minute ride, maybe I'll take you along for that and see if anybody likes it. Let's do a road check here. As you can see, I don't know if you can hear that in the background, that dull noise. That's the creek. Over here is there's a creek that runs alongside the road and then goes around my property. Down there is where it turns to 65 miles an hour. And down here it's 55. So people come around that corner, and if, you know, 55, and if they're familiar with the area, they're accelerating already. So this can be a dangerous spot. I don't hear anybody coming, but standing in the road probably ain't the best idea for longevity. Some mountains down there. But private property, no trespassing. But thanks for so much for hanging out. And leave some comments. Leave nice comments. If you got something bad to say, if you're just in a bad mood, don't bother. I'm just gonna block you. I have no room in my life for stuff like that. It's just not gonna happen. So, all right. You guys have a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out with Johnny F. Take care, my friends.